Start the show?
Yeah, we're ready, Tom.
All right. Ding, dang, ding, dang, ding, dang, ding, dang. Welcome to Roast Mortem, a podcast for you listeners of podcasts. I'm Tom.
I'm a Travis.
I am your Cody for the evening.
And I'm Mike.
There you go.
Oh, yeah, here we go. Gonna roast the dead idiot with our butts out.
Yeah.
You all have your butts out?
Yeah, we are.
Ceremonial butts out.
Sitting on it right now.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't want to get too far ahead, but like a lot of you folks listening to this are probably listening to it on a device conceptualized by this man that we're going to talk about.
Oh,
really?
Tom, we can't talk about this now. We have more important things to talk about, like what's our week? Well, how was your week, Mike?
I gotta think about it for a second.
Engaging.
yeah.
I don't
This
know.
is this is the
Glorious.
content you come for.
Come on, Mike. We're losing
Watch
Patreon.
out, last podcast. We're coming for you.
We're losing Patreon.
I did a lot of things.
Cody, how was your week?
Oh shit! I didn't think about this either.
Fuck you. Tom, how was your week? No, how was your week?
Thanks. All right. So actually, I did think about this because I've, as many of you know, I have two podcasts that I participate in. This one
right.
being The Baby Child, and the other one's the very professional Heavy Hole.
Mm-hmm.
And every week on Heavy Hole, I always spill my beans for roast mortem the night before, and I have nothing to talk about. How was my week? So yes, I do have something. My week. I bit my tongue harder than I've ever bit it before. I was bleeding everywhere.
What?
Because I sneezed.
Oh.
I sneezed and bit my tongue. Imagine that.
Wow. Must have been like a
another-
dad sneeze or something.
Yes.
I sneezed in my PPE, my face mask, and just
Yeah.
all the fucking phlegm got caught all over the inside of the face mask. It was
That's
disgusting.
good.
You don't do that.
Yeah. Also, I got prank phone called for the first time in, I don't know, maybe a decade and a half.
Yeah.
I got a legit prank phone call.
You got freaked? What
You know
happened?
who it was? Did you ever find out?
I have no idea who it was, but I was sitting and I was playing a video game in my spare time, which I had very little of, so I felt that it was a little more insulting. Someone was trying to get my time. I'm playing a video game and I get a call on Skype because I have a Skype number.
Okay.
Because I have a subscription to Skype so I can deal with clients. I see this call coming in from New Jersey, of all places. Oh, this is going to be a dirty phone call.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Yep.
Yeah. So I say, hello, and the man goes, hey.
Mhm.
I'm like, hey to you, sir. This is what I say. I say, hey to you. And the guy on the other side, he goes, guess what? I said, what? And he farted.
That's so basic and effective, though.
Yeah, he hung up, and I was smiling. I felt like I got the same amount of joy that he did. So,
Joke's on him. The next person to use that phone gets pink eye.
Yeah.
pretty much.
That sounds like normal Jersey talk to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he could have been actually speaking in foreign tongue.
Yeah.
That's how you just order a sandwich there. You just walk up to the register and they're like, hey, how you doing? And then you just like present your butthole and you just fart. And they give you like a sloppy capicola sandwich.
You go to Jersey Mike's.
Yep. And then what else am I doing? Oh, we just put out an episode with for Heavy Hole with Dean Lamb from Archspire.
Sick.
Now, this man, he has a fantastic YouTube channel where he learns songs. Well, his band is excellent, and then he's learning songs right in front of you. He does these live streams, him and his wife, Claire. A lot of fun. We put it out. We put this episode out, and he was like, oh, yeah, make sure that you get in contact with me when it's out so I can put it on my massive social media resources. Make sure it gets out there. We're like, of course, this is a podcast. It's all about getting it out there, right?
Yeah.
No podcast does anything by just kind of staying. So, day it comes out, see him on Instagram. My 30,000 subscribers have been hacked from me. I have no access to anything.
What?
I feel for the guy, but selfishly, I'm like, come on, dude. We had a great conversation.
Dude, he totally got hacked.
Yeah.
He got digital hacked. So I hope by the time people listen to this, Dean Lamb is back on the line. But,
So-
you know.
So wait,
Anyway, that was my week.
I'm going to jump back over to Cody. Cody, you're about to get super wet, super hard and super wet.
Douglas is making me wet.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Douglas.
Hawaii's getting ready to kiss Douglas or vice versa. Big old hurricane. So if you notice my absence at any part tonight, I'm probably dying. So
Yeah, and we're rolling. We're rolling right through. Cody's gonna be.
yeah, I'll let you know how it's going.
Yeah, we'll do a sign off for you, Cody. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Maybe a salute at the end of the episode.
Yeah, do it to us via Skype, and then put your shit on milk crates and enjoy the sand.
Cody, this is kind of like we're doing a show with one of those combat veterans. Like, are you wearing like the combat reporters? Are you wearing a bulletproof vest and some water wings?
Wearing water wings and just a canteen of whiskey.
You're like doing the Anderson Cooper thing, being out in like Saudi Arabia where they hate reporters, but they also hate homosexuals. So he is double targeted. Yeah.
What a brave man.
He's out there just kind of looking alien type.
Cody doesn't like water or being outside, so that's what a hurricane does.
I hate the outside. I'm going to stay not where this hurricane is, in my house.
Yeah.
Naturally genius.
So, Cody, I hope you survive this.
Me too, actually.
Travis, I hate to do this to you, but Mike, did you have some time to think about how your week was?
Oh, I totally forgot again.
All right, it's my time then.
I mean, I was like, I don't know, I like fucking just did shit.
There you go.
I kind of forgot. Like, I had a boring week. It was really hot. I was like sweating my nuts off all week.
All right, sweaty and high.
Yeah, not high. I don't do drugs.
CBD.
Yeah, CBD only.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to talk about my week, Tom. Sorry about that. First of all,
I don't care.
Rip
I
420,
don't care for your week,
Regis Philburn, dead as hell. I'm sorry
It's not
for
his
you
name.
and your family. Regis is dead.
Yeah, you know, because a huge staple of roast mortem is to salute and give praise to those who have spent so much time on TV for us, and then just kind of die.
Yeah, he didn't know where he was when he
That's
died.
my
That's
muse,
sad.
man.
Love him. Big on dead people.
I moved into a new place. I found Regis's body when I moved into this new place. He was okay at that point, and then he died.
Yeah, officer.
Yeah.
He was dead after I found him.
No, I finally moved into my new place. Yeah, you know, I can't even really think about anything else. You know, I don't know. There's a lot going on in my life, and right now I feel overwhelmed by how many things. I'm seeing ghost titties everywhere because I'm in a ghost house. And I try to go to sleep. No, it's not cool. There's too many titties in my ghost titty house.
Are they disembodied ghost titties, or are they attached to like ghosts?
No, they're just ghost titties. Like, you could just take them off your body if you're a ghost. Like, I'd take my dick off my body if I was a ghost dick. Dude, this is science here.
It seems that you're extending yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Removing your penis for ghosts? I don't know, man. Wait till they take it.
Yeah, from my cold, dead penis.
Well, it might be one of the perks of being dead. You know what I mean? Just like, got your nose, got my wiener.
Yeah, no.
It's true.
I've just been farting around, sneezing into my mask. That's about it. Oh, yeah, I also
that's
moved
good.
across the street from Trader Joe's. And it's really funny to
sick.
see lines and lines of your stereotypical Portland folk queuing up to go into Trader Joe's to buy their
Try to pee on them.
snacks.
Did you hear that Trader Joe's is removing the fun
Hawaiian shirts?
international embellishments that they use with the term Trader Joe's? So, for example, if you were to get I
did hear about this.
Tortilla.
You get a tortilla from Trader Joe's.
Tortilla?
Tortilla. If you get a tortilla from Trader Joe's, it used to be Trader Jose's.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
That's nice.
Put
not-
some
not cool
international
anymore.
flair. Appreciate the
It's
region
inclusive.
from where the food comes from. And 3 women got mad at this and said that this company cannot do that. And unfortunately, Trader Joe's, don't hate them, pushovers.
Mhm.
So they did it. They took away the Trader Jose's. They take away the Trader Juan's or Trader Chang's or whatever they do with Chinese food. Now it's just
sucks.
Trader Joe's visits those
I know.
places.
Yeah,
probably
Ernest
like
goes to jail. Like Trader Joe goes to like Hong Kong.
China.
No, you just walk in there and you're like, this is a cuisine from not in America, somewhere
Yeah,
in the
non-American food.
world.
Yeah, they want to remove identities from places. I don't like that.
All right.
Let's have fun.
Yeah,
Everyone,
what identity is on display tonight?
Cool.
Scottish.
Oh, okay. Laddie. So
Is
Trader
it really though?
Trader
No, Scottish is cool.
McJohn's.
Haggis. right?
Yes, haggis is the.
Ugh.
Have you ever had haggis?
It just sounds nasty.
Oh.
It sounds like garbage. Not to be mean to Scottish people. But I never had it, but
There's a mincecore band called Haggis, and they make it seem grosser than it is. But anyway, let's move along. Wow, we've been talking for a while about nothing. So now let's talk about something. Roast mortem tonight, the chopping slab, if anyone wants to ask.
Thomas, who is on the chopping block this evening?
I'm glad you asked, Cody. It's Alexander Graham Bell.
Hello, sir.
No.
Hello, sir. How you doing, sir?
You said hoy hoy on the early phones, Travis.
Oh, horse. Hello. Are these the whores?
Hello, boys. Yeah, that's true. They're the reason we say hello. Oh, no, I fucked up my research. I didn't write this down. But I think it was Alexander Graham Bell wanted to say ahoy, ahoy, and then somebody changed it to hello.
damn it.
And that's why we say hello.
Dude, I'm just going to start saying ahoy. Like, what up, Chips?
Ahoy, motherfucker. That sounds way more fun than hello, motherfucker.
Can we restart the show and just start it with ahoy?
Ahoy there, motherfucker! Yeah, I should have done that. I'm sorry, everyone. It's been a long week, so I'll get into this. Let's do an episode.
All right.
A real episode. So, if you don't know, if you've never been outside before, like Cody, he is the inventor of the telephone. Not Cody, but Alexander Graham Bell invented the goddamn telephone, and therefore the telemarketer, and perhaps phone sex.
Oh, sick.
And he did a lot more inventing, but there was some questionable patents that came down his way. We're going to talk about that a little bit, amongst some other things. But overall, he's not a terrible guy. He's not like a who's that guy?
Yeah, okay.
Hitler. He's not like him.
Yeah.
He's
Different flavor.
but,
Wait, so without this man, we would never have the dick pic.
Well,
Yeah.
that can be contested later.
All right, I want to know because I want to see if I like this guy or I don't like this guy. Dick pic is an important part of modern baiting.
That is true.
You know, I've sent one dick pic my entire life,
really?
and I almost went to
Really?
jail right after.
Really?
Yeah, I don't send dick pics anymore. I almost went
Wow.
to jail. Yeah, because I sent it to the wrong number.
Oh,
Oh.
that's not
But
good.
anyway, it was an accident. Yeah, I sent it to the police, and they came.
They came. They knocked on every house on the block and asked to see the penises that lived inside.
Yeah. Well, AT&T just gave it away.
Suffolk
said
County
dick-
Police right here. I just heard penis.
They really snitched on you, AT&T?
No. I mean, Mike, I have terrible stories to tell, but that one was a joke.
Oh.
Anyway, Alexander Graham Bell, he was born in Edinburgh, Scotland, March 3rd, 1847, to Alexander Melville and Eliza Grace Simmons Bell.
Fancy.
Oh.
Alexander, after his, he was named Alexander because of his father, that was his name, and then his grandfather. Both were very important people in his life. We'll see what's up. Both of those dudes were in the fields of speech and sound. So Bell's interest in the matter had been set up very early.
That's like me. I'm very interested in speech and sound. I'm very good at it, too. I make a lot of sounds. I'm a mouth artist. I make a lot of sounds with my mouth.
Yeah, they're pretty good. They're pretty, one of a kind over here.
That's very nice, Travis.
Don't give it away for free.
I hate that. I really do. His grandfather was an actor who studied speech and then wrote several books on stuttering and stammering, which is something you will hear on this podcast sometimes because we have good editors. His father was a professor of phonetics, a specialist in how people spoke and perceived sound. He was the inventor of visible speech, which is a written representation of all sounds the human mouth can make.
Like talking with your hands, too, kind of shit.
Very averse to the idea of talking with their hands.
I mean, what does adverse mean? Like, all
They're
about
against it. They didn't like
against
this shit.
it?
They didn't like this.
They
They saw this. They were like ghosts.
Oh.
Wait, you're saying that they were racist towards Italians?
I can't disprove that. I could see Alexander Graham Bell's great grandson as soon as the Mario Brothers coming out, just throwing a hissy fit. What is this shit? I've been looking at pizza stores, bread, and now we got it on games. What's a game?
You need a beautiful haggis, no pizza.
A haggis slice of pizza.
So, Bell and his two brothers, Melville and Edward, were homeschooled by their mother. Both Edward and Melville died of tuberculosis in their youth, making Alex, or Alec, the saddest kind of only child.
TB, what up?
Yeah, but that doesn't really happen till later. They hang out for a bit. So I just want to fill it in there. You know, he's got some trauma coming up.
That sucks, losing both your parents at a young age.
No, he lost
paying
both his
attention?
brothers.
Oh, his brothers.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, that doesn't
that's
suck,
okay.
Mike.
I'm sorry.
Don't worry about it.
Thought CBD.
Yeah. No, it's fine. Excuse me. I wasn't laughing. I was burping.
Well, tuberculosis is a hilarious disease.
I think it's hysterical. Easily treatable with some chicken noodle
Yeah, that's
soup
how that
and perhaps a gin and tonic.
Yeah.
So, Alec, from a very young age, fascinated with the world around him. This little idiot loved nature. He's like, oh, leaf on the ground. So cool. Parents are like, well, we don't have TV, so
Enjoy.
fine. He also loved playing piano, and he was a very promising young talent for his age. His mother, Eliza, who herself was deaf, hired the best piano teacher in Edinburgh to teach Alec, the young Alec. She's like, well, let's see how good he is. And did a bunch of lessons, and the teacher's like, yo, this kid is like prodigy level. This is amazing.
He's
And then the preacher was like, well, we just finished a lesson, so take care of your young prodigy. I'll be back tomorrow. Didn't come back tomorrow. Guy died. And then Alec was just not into playing piano anymore. He really liked his teacher. Didn't happen.
I just imagine some Scottish dude. He's gonna like, all right, Daddy, now you're gonna hit all the black keys like they do in Asia. Dun, 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 dun.
That's how it works.
Yes.
He's a genius. Oh my God.
These musical niceties. So Eastern sounding. Just play the black keys while you're sipping ramen up, boy. So yeah, he Alec was always good at piano after that, but his interest just dropped. He was just like, I guess this was such a young age. This happened when he was like 7. So he's like, oh, that's what happens to piano people. No,
Well, not in his defense. All pianists eventually die.
yes.
What'd you say about me, Cody?
He called you a fucking a dick bimbo.
Because you're always getting into trouble.
Getting into trouble, just two guys and their friends getting into
Wait,
trouble.
there's 4 of us. Why did you say 2 guys and their friends?
I don't know.
Are 2 of us not friends?
Wait, are we the two? Are me and Mike the two
Yeah,
guys
sure.
because we're cousins?
I don't know, dude. This is a sitcom. I didn't write it. What's that guy? Chuck Lorre wrote it.
Chuck Lorre.
Oh, cool. Chuck Lorre. What do you mean? Norman Lear?
No, Chuck Lorre. Isn't he the one that does like Big Bang Theory? Two
No.
guys
I don't
and their friends.
I maybe. Let's go with it.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway,
About Travis.
so like I mentioned before, Eliza, his mother, Alexander Graham Bell's mother, deaf. Deaf is a
Wow.
deaf person. She played piano.
Mm-hmm.
All right. That sound a little weird? She had this listening tube that would be placed on top of the piano so she
Yeah.
could hear it go in her ear just like a tube.
It's weird.
Oh, you want to hear something? You want to tune in for a minute?
Tube
Tube up.
That's cool.
So Alec thought this was super neat. And he also noticed that he could talk to his mother if he talked in a really low voice. Did like one of these.
ASMR.
I told you. Yeah, he talked like that, really close to her head. It's like, oh, this is perfect. Perfect way to communicate. I'll talk into my mother's forehead, and we'll have
worked,
conversations. It fucking worked.
I want to see the two of these mother and son at like a Five Guys getting some burgers and just. How do you like the fries?
Tasting like peanuts.
What do you want, mommy? I'll take a peanuts.
I love the peanuts. They're so good.
There's going to be a few of those. So thank God none of our listeners are deaf.
I think, yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
don't tell your deaf cousin if you hear this. We're
Yeah,
not
this is-
trying to get canceled or
this is an
anything like
in-joke.
that. We're just having fun here. At age 11, Alec was tired of not having a middle name for some reason because he actually didn't. I don't know why. So he got the name Graham, and his family was like, "That's cool. Let's have a party. Your name is Graham." I think it was because of his like family friend. His name was Graham, who would say jokes.
He likes graham crackers.
Yeah. So he was just Alec Bell, and now he's Alexander Graham Bell. So at age 12, he was hanging out with his best friend, Ben Herdman, at his father's flour mill. Ben's father, Mr. Herdman, most likely drunk, told the boys to do something useful with themselves. So Alec created a prototype for a machine that would remove the husks from harvested wheat stalks.
That's so lame. I was expecting like a Jackass like intro. You know what I mean? Like, I'm Alexander Graham Bell. Down, down, down. This thing takes husks off of corn.
Well, yeah, it's not that extreme, but also keep in mind, like, these are people with, a game for them was move the rocks around, sing a little song. Like, that's what they did at the time. So when a little kid, a 12-year-old's like, let's invent shit, people are like, oh, shit. So his little invention works so well that Ben's dad was like, hey, nice job, you bastard. Now I can fire a few of my employees, and here's this shed so you can make cool shed shit.
That's pretty neat. Yeah, promotion.
Yeah, but he didn't get paid to begin with.
He's got a shed now. He started with a
80% promotion on top of 0 is still 0.
I'm convinced that in Scotland, well, maybe not now, but back in the day, child abuse was just promoted.
Yeah, there's like government PSAs.
Oh, what are you kids doing over here? Why don't you work?
That sounds pretty Scottish.
Yeah, get the work. I'm not talking about like sexual perversion. I'm just talking about like abuse. You know, like, hey, you drink out of a cup. Why don't you go build a
Good
wall?
old platonic abuse.
Well, also the fact that there were these kids just fucking around building shit at a flour mill. Do you know that a flour mill is actually one of the most dangerous places to work?
It's a fucking time bomb.
Throughout all of history. Yeah. Like even back when they used a big flour mill stone grind. Because when that flour's in the air,
hot?
If there's one spark, that shit explodes.
Bomb.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow. So as to why they didn't just do it outside on nice days, we'll never know.
Yeah.
Also, what am I talking about? Scotland's never had a nice day.
This is also true.
It's always nice on the Trump Green up in Scotland.
I can't wait to visit one day to try one of those Mexican taquito bowls. So even though this kid was real smart, he was a shitty student, and his dad didn't like that. So he sent his dad to live with his grandfather down in London.
Oh, he sent his dad there?
Well, no, he said, no. Did I?
You said that.
Did I really?
Yeah.
I misphrased it. Excuse me.
Dad
So his dad sends his kid,
okay.
Alex, our friend Alexander Graham Bell, down to. Yeah, excuse me. I'm sorry. It's been a long week. Also drinking. Now we got little Alec down there. He's gonna be a little gentleman. His grandpa called up a tailor and had his grandson done up with some sweet ass gentleman clothes and shoes and hats and all the dumb shit that gentlemen have. Canes for no reason. He was a kid, but you got
Janko jeans.
So
maybe he had legs like Mike, where he had like a 50-year-old knees, but he was actually.
Yeah, why are you my younger cousin and have older knees than mine?
I don't know.
It's great.
I don't know. It's just unfortunate, I think.
It is an unfortunate thing, and we'll have the GoFundMe up sometime soon.
New knees.
Yeah. Mikey, new
Yeah,
knees.
can we do a GoFundMe?
Mike,
like,
if you had to choose,
buy Mike new legs.
not just knees,
New knees.
But
New knees.
Mike, if you had to replace one kneecap, would it be your left or right?
On my right
For sure.
kneecap. I fucking tore my meniscus.
What an
last year.
old Jewish man problem to have. Oh, I tore my meniscus.
No, I sat
You
on it
sound like
skating.
a fucking 50-year-old.
Yeah, but that's how we know that the GoFundMe is not a scam, because he was able to answer.
Yeah.
There was none of this, like, we asked him how his week was. It was like, we were like, hey, which knee would you get replaced? Oh, the fucking right one, man. It's killing me.
It literally hurts so bad sometimes. It sucks.
Dude, well, make sure your new knees have like LEDs in them and shit, and you can like.
Or,
ground
or
effects.
we could take this like the sadomasochist level. Like for every new patron, Mike has to do like 100 squats.
Why?
For the money.
Get me in shape?
I don't give him any of this money. He doesn't
I know,
get
that's
it.
why it's silly.
We have a huge butt? We're doing squats?
I'm not Mr. Herdman from Scotland, 1830. I'm not going to abuse my cousin like this. Go invent something for me, Mike, so I don't have to work anymore. That's not going to happen here.
Next week I'll come back.
Yeah.
Yeah, we. Thank you. All right. Anyway, so back to Alex. Alex is with his grandfather, and his grandfather beats the careless student out of this kid. By age 16, Alec was a sharp and dedicated student. He had to read and study books about speech and other dumb shit.
Proper talking and stuff like that.
Proper talking. What is even a
Eloquence.
mouth?
Elocution.
All these things. You know, some of the
Stutters and stuff like that.
To be fair, too, like these books are written in the 1830s, most likely. So a lot of the information is wrong.
Wait, what is that, Cody? You
that.
said the word before. It's elocution lessons?
Elocution.
Yeah.
It's talking like a gentleman. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a word for that? I like that. Elocution.
You know,
Elocution.
I was talking to my boss, I would say about like 2 weeks ago, and he goes, "You say L's weird."
What?
And I was like, wow.
What do you mean L's?
I think he's right.
L's.
I say L weird.
L? That
Like when I say words and when I hate hearing my voice, that's the letter that sucks the most.
L.
Lima.
L. Yeah.
Say it again, L.
Well, I can't just say L, but I can say like ladder. When I say
Ladder.
ladder,
Here
the
and
L is almost like non-existent. It's like, wow.
Yeah, adder.
You know, I don't know.
Ladder.
So
Adder.
for those of you who hear my voice,
Ladder.
if you notice I have weird L's, I know
Ammons.
it, and stop picking on me.
You're mean. You're rude to do that to him.
Rude. I am a
Rude.
vulnerable man who does many good things for society.
Gotta roll
Try,
off the
like
tongue.
try to make money for myself and invest. Let's continue. Anyway, sorry, that was a tangent.
Hey.
After a year in London, Alec went back home where he was treated like a boy again. So instead of his father lightening up on him and his brother Melville, he challenged them to build a speaking machine. Now, you see, while in London, Father Bell came and visited Alec and brought him to Wolfgang von Kemplen's house, the inventor of the first speech machine ever, which was basically a bicycle horn that sounded like it was kind of saying, full. Like, it was terrible. It wasn't a speaking machine
So it's like
at all, but
like an adult in Charlie Brown universe.
pretty much. You can actually Google this. There are replicas of this, and there are YouTube videos of people using these speech machines. You might be able to hear a mama in it.
Mama.
Yeah, but back then that was like, oh, you made a box saying,
What else they had back then?
they didn't have shit.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be amazed.
That kind of reminds me of like, you know how like we're kind of on the cutting edge of like robotics and like things like hitting that weird,
Yeah,
like, what is
soft
that shit called?
robotics.
Uncanny Valley.
Singularity.
Right?
Yeah.
Like you ever seen that woman android that's like supposed
Yeah,
to
it's
look like a
freaky.
real person? And it's like, oh,
Is it
kill
Japanese?
me.
Yeah.
I love you. Like this is
Yeah.
where we're at right now, but in the
Yeah.
1800s with talking. So it's like, hey, you want to hear my talking machine say I love you, baby? And it'll be like, oh, God. Fuck.
I personally feel like that's a symptom of we've hit like a brick wall in technology. We've advanced so much recently.
I don't
in the
know.
past
The auto blow
50
is
years.
cool.
That's true. I'm not shitting on technology. What I'm saying is that the next thing that's going to help us with AI and like crazy automation and stuff like that, that's going to take people's jobs, that's going to be a little while longer.
Yeah.
And then it's going to get even fucking crazier, you know? Right now, we're living in the advanced version of just hearing a box go, "Ow, ow, ow."
Until we unlock the full potential of My Pillow, and then we will see the true light
Yeah.
of how the world works.
Yeah.
2069, it's going downhill.
All right, I'll mark my
I'll
calendar.
take the number. I'm probably not going to live till then, so what?
I might see it.
2069?
You definitely will. Your knees might not.
I'll have robot knees. I'll
Mike's going to
Tesla
be like a
knees by then.
Futurama fucking head pickled in a jar of CBD.
I mean, that's pretty generous. I was thinking more Lieutenant Dan.
Wait, a fucking wheelchair? I take it. Fuck it.
Lieutenant Mike.
Fuck it.
He was
Your
getting
knees
laid
won't
like
hurt.
crazy.
Or you could do the Cotton Hill
Or if I
thing.
remember correctly.
Do the Cotton
Oh,
Hill
yeah,
thing.
dude, the cotton.
Oh,
Hill.
yeah. I'll do that.
Dude, you can take my feet.
You're not going to use them, right?
Yeah.
He'll be dead.
I'm not going to use them.
I'll have robot legs. What are you talking about?
We'll figure it out.
Also,
man.
I'll have something cool, like hover around or some shit.
Truly a bridge that must be crossed when we get there. So now Father Bell decided to bring his young inventor gentleman boy to see this stupid machine. And then afterwards, he's just like, hey, I think you could do it better because you like wasting your time and I don't like to be bothered. So That's exactly what happened. So he and his still alive brother were able to make their own bicycle horn, and that gave them confidence. And Alex was like, "I'm an inventor now. This is what I do.
Yeah.
I make shit."
I like that.
Yep.
That's cool.
Every inventor needs a good shed.
Excuse me, Alex. How come your talking machine just says titties really loud?
Like almost
Well,
annoyingly loud
Yeah.
to the point where the neighbors are suspicious of what's going on in the shed.
Well, sir, I had to pick a word, and I thought the bosom was the most exceptionally beautiful word.
I agree.
Yeah.
It's easier to make titty than bosom.
Yeah, the rest of the world is getting like their machines to say "Hello World," and Alexander Graham Bell is just like titties, titties.
like an Indian Ving Rhames, like titties, titties.
I'm a genius.
Anyway, so he becomes a pupil. He becomes a pupil teacher.
What?
Now, that's not just a pupil. That's someone who's doesn't get paid to get teaching experience, or they get paid a little bit.
Like an intern.
Yeah, it's like an intern,
But competent.
but at school, and they're gonna give people degrees based on what this person does. So it's a little different. Anyway, so he becomes the pupil teacher at the Weston House Academy in Engen, Moray, Scotland. To further his education, he gets a tiny bit of cash out of it. As a pupil teacher, he was excellent at his job, and his teachers gave him, his students, they gave him so many apples. He was a great teacher.
Oh, shit.
He discovered that about
Oh,
himself. So
man.
Alexander Graham Bell, on top of being a wonderful inventor, he's a good teacher. He can get down to people's level. He can kneel down at a desk better than any other teacher, make eye contact.
He sounds like a good guy, Tom, to me.
Well, we're going to find out.
I kind of like this guy right now.
You should like this guy right now. Everything
Wait.
I've told you.
Mike,
Yeah.
you liked when the teacher got down on your desk and like
Yeah.
looked you in the eye and was like, "Answer this fucking question, you moron."
Did you have a teacher that looked like Lisa Ann? That would have been
Oh,
cool.
I wish.
Oh, I like Julia Ann.
I would have went to school a lot more.
Yeah.
You know, they're yeah, I would have been in every class.
Yeah, we would never skip. I'd be like, all right, I gotta be here.
Well, but instead we all had Mrs. Holly. So
Oh.
she's not gonna listen. I don't care. Anyway, after after his first year of doing that shit, he and his brother Melville went on a tour with their father, demonstrating his father's life work, which was the written speech language.
What is this?
Now, it is a visualization of every sound that the human mouth can make,
Oh.
summed up in 34 symbols, excuse me.
So is this like the predecessor of like the dictionary speech guidance?
No, it's not.
Okay. Interesting.
It's interesting because it doesn't matter what language the sound comes from. It's a symbolic representation of phonetics only. So it's this sheet. So it doesn't matter. Like they could literally create something as stupid as like,
And then represent
like,
it.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
They could represent it with what's being heard.
Is this before the dictionary was written? Because I know it was written in the 1800s, right?
I actually don't
the
know which
Oxford
one was the first.
Dictionary?
It was.
It was
I think
56.
Webster was first, though, wasn't it?
1856, I think.
Holy shit.
1856.
Is it 1856?
I'm just going with it. It doesn't
I
matter.
realize
It always
there's
says
a
it on the-
time
on the
before
dictionary.
right now, and there must have
Yeah.
been real dumbasses out and about. And if
Dude,
you
that's
just-
how they-
if you just
that's
didn't
how they
It's not
know.
hard to get
you
one of
were
those,
just
too.
Shit out of luck.
Like that's how they know how people talked from like the 16th century or whatever, because they just write what they thought they sounded like. There was no there was no standard way of spelling anything. It was like
hello spelled with a U or something like that.
yeah, yeah, like
New.
Hello.
Hello. Yeah, I mean, English is a terrible language on paper.
Why do we
like,
speak-
phonetically? It doesn't make any sense.
you
I know. I was
was
doing a
born
bit
in
of looking into Greek. Greek is the most like phonetically tied to what the words are. They don't have like the thing. They have a couple of those.
Can we
but
do Esperanto? Like an entire episode in Esperanto?
oh, we should probably roast that guy. I heard he was real dumb. The guy who
Oh,
invented
okay.
Esperanto.
Interesting.
You should look at that, Cody.
yeah. So anyway, their father, Father Bell, he had made Alex's Father Bell. He had developed this written speech language, and the two brothers would present it for him. One of them would leave the room, and the other would ask a volunteer to just say anything, like anything at all. It could be a fart noise, didn't matter. And then the
Ooh.
brother would write it down on a chalkboard, and then the other brother would come into the room and read the phonetic language written on the board, and everyone would lose their shit. They're like, "Oh my god, it fucking works!"
Okay, how useful is that though?
Well,
I get it's a challenge and a worthy one, but how useful is it?
We'll see. This doesn't go away just yet.
Mm.
The tool was considered It was considered very effective in regards to teaching deaf how to speak.
That's cool.
It's all about pronouncing without reference. So it's
Sounding.
So you
if
could-
you're deaf. If you're deaf, you can go in blind.
Oh, zing.
We might have blind listeners, Tom. You can't.
Well, they understand the saying because we don't have idiot listeners.
Yeah,
I
no
stand by
idiots
that.
here.
Okay.
Only geniuses.
The only idiots are us.
So basically, the idea behind it was that you could take any deaf person, you can teach them this, and you would be able to turn them into basically my Jewish grandmother.
Really?
Yeah, because they would have the ability to speak anything that was written, but not the ability to hear.
Bobby.
So they could talk at you for days, no problem. They could still do lip reading, and they could, but they would be able to pronounce the words correctly. That was the point. Like, they would know what an M sounded like. They would know that the lips need to touch, and there need to be no explosive there. Like that has a certain thing. So it's an interesting like breakdown of language. But Cody, I think you mentioned it doesn't have a practical application.
Unless if you're deaf.
No.
Aside from like the tutoring of the deafies.
Right, exactly. But this is not something that the non-deaf
Very
population is going to learn and adopt for the sake of the deaf population.
Right.
Especially since the deaf population had...
Because fuck minorities.
Well, no, they had their own culture. The sign language is around. You know,
Yes.
these people were able to communicate. Yeah, there were poor deaf kids who got around with grunts and shit like that, and that's an unfortunate case. But, like, you can educate anyone to communicate.
Tom, I think you're missing the point here. How old is
I'm
Alexander?
being too compassionate.
How old is Alexander right now? He's probably like, what, 18?
Yeah, like 18, 19.
18. So he's going out to the pubs, and he's saying, hey, I guess what I invented, he'd find some bird, and he'd be like, hey, guess what? I invented how to do all these phonetics. You want to know the most tongue-active sound in the English language? He'd be scoring. He'd be
It
scoring,
would have
dude.
a bunch of L's in it.
Why didn't you just use your tongue? I'm just talking about how you're.
Lollapalooza.
You just went all.
I don't know.
You went all teeth on that.
Do that again, Troy. This is funny.
Yeah, do it again. It's funny. It's all teeth.
There's no. You could do that without a tongue.
First time ever less tongue. That's it. That's a little
There
long.
you go.
You remember SpongeBob, the fucking Patrick Star doing the ladle? That's how you make any woman orgasm. That's fucking that was a joke that was written for adults and nobody got it except me. Ladle. That's the joke.
Wow.
I didn't know that.
I guess I'm not.
I'm just
an
saying,
adult.
Alexander probably had some ulterior motives besides just the welfare of deaf
Ulterior.
people.
Well, all right. That might pop up later in the episode, allegedly. So, Alex's next weird speech thing was studying the pitch of vowels. Now, he'd be up all night making strange faces and hitting his cheek, observing what was going on there. His roommate hated him. He's like, why are you doing this? Travis is doing it right now. You might be able to hear it.
Yeah.
I can't do it. I'm not good at it.
Yeah.
Oh.
That was a big thing. He was realizing
Quality
that different
content.
vowels had different pitches, and he was like, oh, that's why, because mouths are a thing.
Should we just continue the episode just in ASMR voice?
Let's put that behind a paywall.
All right, here we go. Tom, tell us more. Tom,
Okay.
tell me more.
So he
Stop it.
Cody's getting hard.
Yes.
so now
Can't
he's
do this all day.
so he's teaching speech to the deaf, and he's using his visual or written speech to do this. His father. So he's got 4 young girls that he's teaching the beginnings of speech, and with these 4 young girls that he was tutoring, he was able to get them to speak, which was pretty much unheard of
That's
for deaf
cool.
people. It's amazing work, really. He gained a reputation of being a wonderful teacher. Now, things were doing pretty well for the whole Bell family. Daddy published his book on visual speech. Melville was getting married, and shit was going well. And all of a sudden, bad shit happened. The younger brother, Edward, he was there, and then he died. He didn't last that long. In the late 1900s, grandfather dies. It happens. Sad. Both Edward and Melville had died of tuberculosis, like I mentioned before. Alec also became sick, so his parents were like, well, we only got one more for it, so let's go do something. So they moved him. They wanted to get him into a much better climate because Scotland and London and all those areas, England is a questionable place when it comes to breathing.
Very rainy.
You basically are, you're smoking all the time.
Nah, I lived over there. I'm fine, dude. I smoked a bunch of cigarettes, and I'm fine.
Yeah, how many packs a day do you smoke?
Huh?
How many packs?
I didn't
How
smoke.
many packs a day do you smoke?
Didn't smoke packs back then. I used to do rollies, mate. Rollies, mate.
All right, so
You say that like it's some kind of defense.
so Travis,
That's the buffet
I also didn't
version
work
of
in the coal
smoking.
mines. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, but you smoked people's fucking bagged leaves.
Yeah, dude. England is the most. It's got a nice, balmy, clammy climate. It's great
So
for your health.
Uh-huh.
it's great, except if you're fucking Alexander Graham Bell. So his parents are like, we have to get out of London. That's where they were at the time. It's way less Londony if we just get out of here. So they went to Canada to find free healthcare. But that was a joke. You see, Canada started their single-payer healthcare system in 1966, long after the Bells got there. It's a 70 years difference, really. It's not a good joke. Just want to be clear.
It's good.
'Cause I know a lot of people are thinking about it. They did move there because of its climate. It's serene. They were able to buy a giant piece of property and let him breathe mountain air
It's
all
good
day. And
I don't know. I think they might have just moved a little Alexander over there because maybe Mama Bell was into the great grandfather of Justin Trudeau and his washboard abs.
oh yeah,
I mean, who isn't?
well yeah.
It's like, oh, I'm Mr. Trudeau. I've just come to Canada. Oh, how are we doing today, the Bells? Oh.
You think?
Yeah, I don't know if you can see
You
me
think
touching my nipples.
Alexander? Yeah. You think
I
Alexander
assume, yeah.
Trudeau does like black abs?
Fucking Justin
like
Trudeau out
blackface.
there, just like constantly black apping
Wait.
it.
What's black happening?
Well, he pictures were surfaced recently, Mike. I know. It's good that you're here because we forget that not everyone knows.
You're
these
the
things.
anchor of comedy.
So Justin Trudeau, a very liberal, progressive Canadian Prime Minister. Several pictures of him surfaced, last year sometime, in which he was donning blackface.
Oh.
No, he
I
had
heard
just
about
come
that.
off the oil rig, and sometimes you're covered in all black.
Right, but he had to go
Come off
right
the
to a
oil- and
costume
wearing a
party.
turban.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, he might just came right from the oil rig right to the party.
Yeah.
And had just enough time to put on only a turban.
Yeah.
No pants.
Uh-huh.
Nope.
You know, every time I see him now, that little ditty from the Sega Genesis version of Aladdin, when you die, I hear that every time I see that fucking weenie. I don't trust him. I don't think
As you
he's a
should.
bad guy, but I also don't trust him.
He's too pretty.
Piss
He's
break.
too pretty to be trustworthy.
Dude, I trust the hell out of him. Give me
I'm
that
ugly
maple
as shit.
syrup.
Trust me.
It happens.
Give me that molten maple syrup on my chest.
Ooh.
So, there they are, the Bells. They're in Canada. Alex spent the first year at their new abode, reading, being sad. The climate had improved his health, so that was nice. And in 1871, he moved to Boston to resume his career. Now, he taught teachers of the deaf the methods that his father developed of visual speech. Wow, that was a fucking so many
So he's
more
Method Man.
syllables in that sentence than there needed to be.
Yeah, so he basically just came in there. He's like, yo, teachers, A-E-I-O-U, and sometimes Y. What up? Pay me $1 million.
Yes, bingus. So he becomes a professor at the Boston University. He also opens a separate private school called the Bell School of Vocal Physiology. He also continued to experiment with sound. He created his own phonautograph, and a phonautograph is the earliest known device for recording sound.
Oh, cool.
Previously,
This guy's really into sounding, isn't he?
he loves, yep. Travis, I'm surprised that Cody beat you to that one.
You know what? It's I didn't even see the joke in it because the Scottish are very into their sounding. Let me tell you,
wow.
They like to throw that log and they like to put that log right in the urethra.
Yeah, no one ever shows you videos of the second part of the competition.
Catching it with your penis.
Catching it in your penis.
I'm sorry, I'm cut. Yeah, that's what they never show it land because it's going into some guy's wiener. I'm sorry, I'm cutting you off, Tom.
No, it's fine. It's fine because that's just as important as what I was going to say. So the phonautograph is it's a machine that captures sound, but it just kind of draws it out via using the vibration of tuning forks.
Ooh.
So it's not the actual sound you'd be seeing back. It's the autograph of the sound.
A copy of it?
Yeah, it's on either paper, kind of like a lie detector test, but with sound. That's kind of
cool.
what's going on there, but also shittier and 1800s-ier.
So it's like,
redundant.
This is what you sound like. That's kind of like, you know those people that, have you seen it marketed where it's, this is the first line of the first Beatles song ever recorded, and I printed it out, and now it's framed in my living room.
Or it's just like, I recorded my offspring saying "I love you" and tattooed it underneath my left breast.
Right.
Where it got that milk, though.
Right. Those waveforms are useless when it comes to reading things. There's no information there. They cannot tell you, besides whether there's an explosive or volume, what's going on in that waveform. So it's
Tom's the audio guy. Listen to him. He's smarter than Graham Bell.
Yeah, I'm a Graham man. So he thought that he'd be able to use this, and he wanted to be able to demonstrate to deaf people how a word should look using this. This was a bust move, as drawing the sound didn't have any detailed information. It just kind of looked neat. So he even, in inventing these things, he used a human ear that he got off of a corpse to make a mic sensitive enough to make the idea possible, but like I said, it was a bust idea already. It was just a creepy ear machine.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, what does an ear have to do with anything?
Well,
it's like it's dead too, right? There's no.
Well, it's dead, but there's a bone inside your ear behind the eardrum. When your eardrum receives noise, it hits the bone,
shakes it.
The hammer and the anvil.
Yeah.
Oh, I was just thinking like he cut someone's ear off. Like there was like none of the guts,
did that.
just like. No, none of the guts, just like, here's an ear.
No, yeah, he had to go for the guts because he was fascinated with it. It was just like, so he's a guy with an ear machine now. So through that process, he began thinking of this first concepts of the telephone with. So it wasn't a fruitless adventure, but it wasn't used for its original intent. This was, of course, intended to be a teaching tool. Didn't work. So Alec he's got a love for teaching and inventing. And at this time in his life, he's more for teaching. So he's teaching some deaf kids in Boston, and one of those students is 15-year-old Mabel Gardner Hubbard. Now, Roast-Mortem history tells us where this is going, so we'll get into it.
They touched each other.
Well, I thought it was going to be worse than it was, but to be honest with you, it's so slow and stupid that it doesn't even matter.
I mean, that's Scottish mating for you.
Yeah, Scottish mating. If she's got
slow, stupid, it doesn't even matter.
If the grass is green, you can tee off a couple times.
Wow.
Something like that. So, of course, he's tutoring this 15-year-old. He had some feelings, but he was gentlemanly enough. Also, back then, 15-year-olds, they weathered like sagging 22-year-olds.
Yeah.
People in bad
if your life expectancy is like 31.
Yeah.
That's true. I mean, like, if you ever get a new catcher's mitt or, like, a new baseball mitt, you put that oil in it, and you just fucking punch it a whole bunch.
Pound it.
Wear it in.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's what they used to do back in the day.
They sure did.
Oh.
With not catcher's mitts.
With their daughters' faces.
Yeah.
So, her dad was a guy named Gardner Green Hubbard, who was an essential part of Boston's history. As you wouldn't dare mention Providence, Rhode Island, without thinking about good old Roger Williams, or Savannah, Georgia, without even recollecting on George Oglethorpe. That's what Gardner Green Hubbard was to Boston.
That's what I always think about.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
It's that guy's name.
Yeah. No, please. So just think about that. Hubbard was a successful lawyer who helped establish a city waterworks in Cambridge and was the founder of the Cambridge Gas Company, and later organized a Cambridge to Boston trolley system. He was an advocate for public services.
Oh.
Now, he tried to nationalize the telegraph system by having the post office acquire it, through some law shit, which was, at the time, all the old beep, beep, beep telegraph systems were owned by Western Union. Now, Western Union had bought all the independent and failed telegraph companies by 1866 and had a monopoly on the service. And it was terrible. It would take an entire afternoon to send out a message, since the cables could only carry one message at a time. That's something that people do not know. The cable systems were so bad.
Wow.
Like we complain about not being able to watch Netflix on 7 TVs at a time in our household. But this was like, I want to send a text message that says, I love you. It takes all afternoon because the post office of privatized companies, Western Union, was like, oh, you have a message? Wait in line, sir.
Damn.
And here we are on Skype, Portland, New York, Hawaii. Like it's fucking nothing.
Yeah.
I love it.
Technology.
Yeah, I think people take that shit for granted all the time, dude. It's like
I'm gonna masturbate to it.
Yeah. No, I mean, like, nowadays you can easily send a dick pic or, like, tit pic if you want. But back then, if you wanted to do that, Morse code or telegraphs are just long and short beeps.
Or a painting.
So what they would do is it would be the 2 beeps for the balls, 1, 2. And then you'd hold down the button for the length.
For the long.
Yeah. So it'd be like, beep, beep, if you're 7 inches. Say if you're, like, inch.
Right.
1 second.
And these telegraphs,
per second.
These telegraphs had to be delivered. And imagine this: the amount of times that a telegraph, a 12-year-old telegraph page would have to show up at someone's house and go, "I got a dick for you, ma'am." And then he's not an educated boy; he doesn't know what 12 and 14 are, so he went to the wrong house. So then he gets the shit kicked out of him just because someone said beep 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 to the wrong person.
That's exactly how it works.
Yeah. So at the time, Hubbard was a rich man, a lot of contacts that he needed to stay up on, returning telegraphs. So he's like, I'm rich. I need this to go faster. If there was just someone out there that could help me stop being fucked in the ass by Western Union, I would do anything. So he wanted the U.S. government to screw people instead of these private businesses, of course. So this did make him somewhat famous because he was on the national stage for a while, trying to acquire this. And everyone knew who Hubbard was. He was the guy trying to make Western Union suck someone else's dick instead of making everyone else suck their dick.
I feel like Western Union just has constantly fucked people over. Because, like, now Western Union is, like, the people that steal money from, like, migrant workers.
Yeah.
That's pretty much all they are.
Way to hit
pretty
that
much.
fucking nail on the head, Travis.
Yeah, like,
thank you.
I mean, no one goes to Western Union unless you need, like, cash an illegal check. And then they, like, skim, like, 10% off of it.
Oh, yeah. It's such a useless service now.
Venmo. Get Venmo.
We will later get into why that company is so dumb. It'll be fun. It'll be a fun thing. So here's Alec right now. He's talking to Gardner's daughter, getting her to speak right so she wouldn't be an embarrassment to the Boston elite.
Yeah.
Gardner is very grateful for Alec's ability to teach his daughter how to not sound like she's behind a door all the time. So, of course, he had no idea that he was attempting to suckle the teat of this woman, or 15-year-old, but that's neither here nor there. This is history. Hubbard, like Alec, he liked his brain. He was into hanging out with him, so they became chummy, and they enjoyed sipping bark water from expensive china on evenings. One evening at the Hubbard's house, while entertaining his hosts with the piano playing that he was oh so good at, he stopped short, and he turns around and he goes, "Hubbard family, did you know that a piano could sing back to you?" Hubbard's like, "No, you're drunk, Alexander Graham Bell. The piano needs to be banged on and shit for noise to come out. Shut up." So
shit, this dude invented the player piano?
No, even worse.
Oh, all right, never mind.
So now Alex all like, "Nah, dude, check this shit out." So he spins back around toward the top of the open grand piano and just screams at it at the top of his lungs. He's like, "Ah, ah, ah!" And the piano resonates because the strings, they pick up the pitch at which Alec had screamed at. And the Hubbards are like, whoa.
Dude, he's doing whale songs in their fucking foyer?
Yeah. And Hubbard's like, why did you do that? And does this have any practical application? Or is this just a parlor trick you use to pick up 15-year-olds?
Oh. Oh, did he know?
Well, no, there's a little paraphrasing there. But, it's the idea of history is more important than what history is. We all know this. So Alec explains that the principle behind resonating and using multiple frequencies with the same string is actually the basis of sending Morse code messages at different frequencies, therefore using a multi-channel telegraph machine. So it's a harmonic telegraph machine. So Hubbard's like, I've wasted so much time at Western Union.
Oh, so he's like, one beep beeps could be higher than the other beep beeps, and they'd be like split.
Yeah, exactly. Like they can be sent over the same cable, and then you can have different messages coming in different ways, different channels. A harmonic telegraph, multiple telegraph. So now, Hubbard is hard. He's like,
would be.
Not only am I going to have a better alternative to Western Union, I'm going to put them out of business. And he says to himself, this fucking piano screaming monkey is going to make me rich.
If I had a goddamn nickel every time I had that thought, I'd have no nickels.
Yeah, it's true. This is how it started. This is how this relationship started. So he offered to fund all of Bell's experiments and inventions for a small cut, of course, which was lucky for Bell because he had a similar offer from another parent of a different student. That guy's name was Thomas Sanders. So they formed a three-way partnership between Bell, Hubbard, Sanders, and it was known as the Bell Patent Association.
Tom, you're getting me so hard right now.
Yeah, well, I did a lot of research in a little minute.
Dude, it's a threesome. It's a threesome. Cody's getting hard too. It's a threesome.
I've been hard, fucker.
Just you wait until Watson comes in with his giant dick.
Oh!
Say it slower.
Let me start tapping the table.
Slower.
Could you imagine Johnny Sins having sex with three other Johnny Sins?
I'm pretty sure the universe would implode.
Yeah. Just them shoving their dicks inside of each other, and that's what this was historically for mankind.
Wow.
So, summer break, 1874. Alec, he goes up to Canada to visit his parents, and he has a breakthrough up there. His multiple telegraph machine was okay, but what he really wanted was a talking version of it, the telephone. So this is now Alec's summer break of 1874 is the reason that everyone listening to this podcast can lay in bed hungover and watch pornography on their phone.
Thanks, Alex.
Well, hold
yes.
We've all been there. Everyone's been there.
Sounds like a saint, Tom.
But before you exalt the telephone, the entomology nerd wants you to remember telephone literally translates to the far sound.
Okay. So when you elaborate that over 6 or 7 decades, you get a pornography hungover machine.
Yeah, you get a far
but you're
penis
jacking
and
off to the far sound.
No, you're jacking off to a far penis
sound.
and a far vagina, or a far penis and a far butthole.
Yeah, I'm not contesting
or a
this.
far vagina and a far vagina. I'm not judging. They're all far
It's
away.
telephone, not teleporn, Travis.
But it became teleporn. And that's why we have big screens that we say our phones. And really, there's been a lot more pornography time than there has been phone call time on everyone's device.
Yep.
That's kind of true.
Also, my mom listens to the podcast, so I know you're not doing that. But that is the world,
so
Mom.
I'm so grateful. My mom doesn't listen to this podcast.
Anyway, like I say, he's vacationing at his parents' place in Canada. He's sitting in a field. He's thinking. He's watching some river right in front of his parents' place, just watching it go. Realizing that the voice is more relative to the river, because transporting voice through a telegraph cable, since it would never truly work. You see, the dots in the Morse code are designed, are made by the starting and stopping of electrical current. And you can't have that happen with voice because voice is consistent. There's no stopping and starting. It's the idea of picking up sound is fluid.
Unless if you're one of those unless if you're one of those click languages in Africa, which case that's all stop and starting.
Yeah, but then you just speak Morse code.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Maybe they got it right.
Yeah, maybe.
It's true. So anyway, that was the breakthrough for him. In the world of beep, beep, boop, he was like, beep, bup, 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 bup. How do I make that happen?
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
So it was by looking at a river and being sad about something. That's the breakthrough. Now he had the idea. It would change the world forever, whatever. It had something to do with magnets, so...
how do those work?
Juggalos. Are you saying the Juggalos invented the porn machine that we all stare at?
I'm just going to say that men consciously said a line, magnets, how they work, something to that effect, while speaking into a magnet.
Okay.
Which is a microphone.
Yeah.
A microphone there is magnets, there's coil, and it's like, how do they work? Miracles. Well, it's like, well, they figured it out, and that's, you can attribute your success to that, but I'm not a clown with paint on my face. I'm a clown with no paint on my face.
You like Fago?
Zwick does.
Really?
Oh, yeah?
This is your Fago guy?
Let's see if he edits that out or not, if he's embarrassed about it. Your move, Zwick.
So now enters our story's possibly biggest sucker in a way, Thomas Watson.
Ah, interesting.
So this is Alec's assistant and master metal worker. Thomas had a machine shop where he would work on other people's inventions. You see, a lot of inventors are just clumsy idiots, and they need people with good abilities to work with metal and all kinds of materials to do their bidding for them. So one day, Alec runs into Thomas Watson's studio. He's all flustered, he's sweaty, he looks stupid.
Yeah.
And Watson's like, who's this guy? The two had not met yet, so Watson is like, all right, this prick is just in my studio. Usually I have a reception, and they go there. He's like, no. So Alec walks in, he's just like, do you know what metal is?
What?
And he's like,
So now, basically, Alec went in there fast so he could see how good Watson was with his medals. You know, he wanted to make sure he was recruiting the right guy. I guess it makes sense, but the wrong way of doing it.
All right, give me a dive bomb. Give me a fucking an egg.
So after the weird introduction, the two end up working together. But this was only on the harmonic telegraph, though. You see, that was why Sanders and Hubbard were funding them. So they can't just skip town and start working on something else with their money. Doesn't make any sense.
I also feel like artists do that shit, too. Like, I don't know how to paint, but, like, I got a vision, dog.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know how to make music, but podcast, yo.
Yeah.
We're kind of like that. But anyway, so this is how they have their funding. And part of the whole thing is that Bell is responsible for putting these patent designs together and then bringing them to the patent office in D.C. So he's on a trip down to D.C. to get the first shipment of patents off. You don't want to just mail those because, you know, their system, their postal system then was like Italy's postal system now. Doesn't work. So he's bringing these shits down, making it happen. And so while he's in D.C., filing his patents, he stops by the lab of famed inventor Joseph Henry. Two of them get to talking, and Henry was impressed with some of the electronic components developed by him and Watson. Bell then described the telephone to this great inventor. And Henry got pretty hard. He was like, dude, do that. That seems smart.
Okay.
So he's like, Alec's a little shy. He's like, I don't know I'm going to do it. It's kind of hard to do it. It seems like a lot. I got this paperwork to do, and I don't have the expertise on electrical current that I do need to make this happen. And Henry is just like, shut up and get it.
Yeah, Alex.
Just go fucking get it.
Alex, if you have a hard, firm coil, you might as well push that shit, you know, fucking crank that coil.
Right. So this is the trip that finally encourages our greasy Scottish friend to make the damn thing.
Nice.
He pitched the idea to his business partners, Hubbard, Sanders, and Watson. It was a no bite from Hubbard, though, who was doing most of the cash. It was just too futuristic. He was like, "What?
Wow.
What are you talking about? I want beeps and bops and boops and boops. I need real shit I can understand with little rocks. I don't need this fucking voice shit."
Like, I feel like the dude who's making the Morse code better I don't know. I'm sure there were guys that are like, yeah, man, my Morse code can move 7 times faster than your Morse code. Like, that's the Elon Musk, right? The guy who's just like all flashy. But
stop moving your mic.
Yeah. But the Alexander Graham Bell is like the Boston Dynamics.
Interesting.
He's making them fucking robots that are going to take us over with their voices. Their sexual blow gibbers.
Right. I think it's a good analogy. Now we got Alexander Graham Bell. He's running this idea of the telephone. Hubbard's not biting. He's just like, no, it's not going to happen. Oh, also, I just wanted to tell you that I'm really into your daughter. That's kind of what happened there. For some reason, he broke the telephone news and the I want to court your daughter news in quick succession. So the two of them are like not happy with each other anymore. Hubbard's like, look, you're kind of creepy. Let her have a year. Okay.
Yeah, let her
she's almost
ripen
18
into a woman.
Oh.
Yeah, she's not legal. You have inventing to do. Come on. So eventually the gossip got through. I don't know who told who, but Mabel found out that Alec wanted to ask permission to court Mabel. So she got in front of that one. She was just like, hey, I know you're trying to court me. Not into it. So her response actually encouraged him. And he started to write her all the time. And after some time, she gave in. Because, I don't know.
Oh, my God.
You could do that, guys. Just don't be a dick. Also, Hubbard was like, fine. Courtship, it can happen. It's fine. I'm going to keep an eye on you, Mr. Scottish boy, but it can happen.
Laddie.
So also at this time, he had been pretty low on cash. So now he's tutoring on the side. His side tutoring had been neglected in order to make time for inventing, which, while Hubbard funded, it wasn't funded very well. You understand? No. He's got all the materials he wants, but he's not getting
the pay.
Okay.
So he's kind of like scraping.
I need 7 iron brews. 7 iron brews per phone call.
If we have fans in Scotland, can you send us Iron Brew? I'm so fucking curious.
Wait, you never had it, Cody?
Never have I had an Iron Brew.
It's the Mountain Dew of Europe.
So it's what?
No, it's fucking horse piss. Please send us some.
I love that.
It's not the Mountain Dew of Europe, then.
Well, either way, when Bell's funds started running low, he switched his time and focused more to teaching because, he's not an idiot. But Hubbard grew furious. He was just like, think of the competition! They're going to beat us to the harmonic telegraph! So Hubbard gave him an ultimatum. And Hubbard's also not Scottish, so that was an inappropriate Scottish accent. He gave him this ultimatum. He's just like, you can give up teaching, or you can give up Mabel and inventing. So, of course, Alexander Graham Bell, he's a simp. So he went on to be a simpventer.
Simpventer.
Oh, he's at the boundary of Zimbabwe and Botswana.
Zimbabwe, Botswana.
I actually checked; those two nations border each other. You're welcome.
Oh shit, Cody.
Oh, that's great.
That's great. Yes, thank you for that. So the boys, Watson, Bell, they're working on the harmonic telegraph. It is June 2nd, 1875. Watson was in one room, and Alec was in the other. They had been experimenting with metal reeds for the creation of their Morse code tone creators.
Mm-hmm.
Watson was plucking a reed by accident. Just kind of adjusted it. Plucked it.
I thought you said fucking.
The sound.
What an inventor.
Yeah, he's plucking around. All of a sudden, he's got, oops, yellow. I plucked this reed. Oops. And Bell is like, oh, shit, I heard that loud as day over here. What did you just do?
Huh.
A happy accident.
I think we've actually made a telephone. That thing you were talking about.
The far sound.
We just need to figure out a proper transmitter. So they're like, oh, fuck yeah. So the phone was in the bag. And now they were able to convince Hubbard because they had a working prototype of what it was. They were like, hey, the noise is a little jumbled, but man, we can get this fucking thing working.
So when you said...
We don't have to do this fucking dip. We could do something way cooler.
So when you said reed, are we talking about like a reed that's in a clarinet?
Yeah, but just out of metal.
Oh, okay. So a little fucking...
Because all a reed does is vibrate when you put air on it. So a metal reed will vibrate if you put electrical current through it.
Yeah, I love the metal ones. I think they work better.
I vibrate when you put electric current through me.
I'm sure you do. So now they put together a patent. The patent for the magneto-electric telephone was filed February 14th, 1876.
Hot sound.
Funny enough, on that same day, just a few hours later, an inventor named Elijah
Keys?
Elijah Gray.
Oh, wait, Alicia Keys invented
Alicia
music?
Keys. Yeah, she did it. Okay. Elijah. I wrote Alicia by accident. But Elijah Gray filed a patent for a device that was also for transmitting voices, just through electric current. So what are the coincidences that two inventors are going to bring a patent that's almost identical to the same office on the same day, and Bell just happens to beat him there?
It's weird.
Oh, wow.
It's highly contested and weird.
Elijah Gray would even later team up with Western Union over the telephone patent. We'll see why Elijah Gray was second in the phone race, but later examination of his invention on paper would say that it worked much better than Bell's. In fact, it was a working prototype.
Oh, wow.
And Bell himself needed to make several big adjustments that was nothing like the original patent. Therefore, we have this like weird telephone mystery happening here.
Right.
Yeah, right.
Chicken or the egg.
Because there's nothing. Yeah, there's no hard evidence that anyone was ripping anyone off. But the coincidence of the fact that they're filing this patent on the same fucking day for this invention that's going to change the world is a little nuts.
So it's kind of like the patent office is playing telephone.
You need to sit in the corner.
Ring, 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 ring. Patent phone.
There is a phenomenon called convergent development. Like, where if the world needs something bad enough, like more than one people or entities will strive towards it. And like the biggest example of that, like, isn't even technological. It's like the evolution of the wing. Like birds
like
have
planes and shit.
Yeah, like birds have a wing that is their arm. But if you look at like the mammalian counterpart of that, like the bat, that wing is their hand. So like both creatures made like the strives to have flight, but they just had different approaches to it.
So you're saying Jesus loves fleshy webs. Give them to him.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying.
Give him them fleshy webs. Hey, I'm Jesus. Back that fleshy web up. Hell yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks, Travis.
So anyway, Bell returned.
Back down to smart zone.
You did.
Make it smarter. Yeah. Thanks, Travis. So Bell returned to Boston with his new patent that could have possibly been a scam piece. And he got back to work because he still had some shit to put together. His only job was to make it work at this point. Now the patent's filed, it's just like, okay, let's make it happen. So first day back, he started to work on a new transmitter, one that used liquid to transfer the voice into current.
Really?
How'd that go?
Now, that idea was also laid out in detail in Elijah Gray's already functioning patent.
Sounds fishy.
Closer. This liquid technique seemed to work a lot better.
The plot
Next day.
thickens.
With 2 C's.
Yes, she thickens like Sarah J. thickens. The next day, Thomas Watson made a new liquid transmitter. It was basically a tub of water and battery acid with a speaking tube sticking out at the top. Not anything like a telephone you've ever seen.
That's how I describe my physical being, actually.
just a bucket with battery acid in it,
and a tube. And a tube.
Where you speak from.
Or do other things.
So basically, he gave the rig to our Bell fellow, who rigged it up in his room in the boarding house where their lab was. And Watson stayed in the lab room next door. Now, after setting it up, Alex said into the transmitter, "Mr. Watson, come here. I want to see you." Which, miraculously, Watson was able to hear, loud and clear.
Oh.
All he needed was the inspiration and the quick peek at someone else's telephone invention to make his invention work.
Weird, right?
Wow.
Yo, let me see what you're doing. Let me see what you're doing over there. All right. I'm going to do something over here.
Get some notes.
Yo, how you did it? I did that now. It's true. Well, I mean...
How you make shit better?
Yeah, but they didn't have anything. They went from nothing to just taking the transmitter.
Well, if he's doing it better, might as well
Steal it.
Yeah, steal it.
Fuck you, Mike.
We know
Well, it's not good to steal. You should never steal.
we know Mike's gumption.
Well,
now.
also, is this like,
Anyway.
are we entering conspiracy zone time here? Because I know you love a good conspiracy. Because, I mean, we're talking about a Watson, right? Why are all Watson smart boys? Because then Watson and Crick invent DNA or like find DNA. Like, and then we got Watson with the fucking
sidekick of Sherlock.
Yeah. What's with Watson, dude?
Big brains.
Yeah, man. They're just always in the right place.
Is it all the
at the
same
right time.
person? Is it a
That's why
fucking
I named my
Dracula?
dick Watson.
Yeah.
So.
Oh. Right place, right time. No poopy buttholes for Cody's penis. Anyway, there is a myth perpetrated by Mr. Watson's autobiography that those famous words that our good fellow Bell said, Mr. Watson, come here, I want to see you, was because Alec had spilled battery acid all over himself. And he wanted it to seem dramatic. And he was like, oh, Mr. Watson, I need you. Thank God. The first phone call ever is an essential phone call.
Saved my life.
It's a 911.
That's convenient.
Yeah, of
Is
course. Like, oh my God, thank God we invented that right then, because
I probably heard
my
battery
friend.
acid.
Yeah, but it never happened.
Oh.
It's a myth.
Oh, it's all myth, yeah.
Think of all the lives this device can save. How many lives can your flashlight that you developed, which is made out of tree bark, can that save? 0.
Don't speak too soon, my friend.
Times are
Don't
tough.
speak at all.
Yeah.
All right, Cody.
It's a flashlight made of tree bark.
That's the first one, dude.
It
Progress.
stimulates.
So in 1876, America's centennial birthday, Alex
Ooh.
got to show off his new invention at the International Centennial Exposition in Philly. It was a big show of all the cool shit that America did.
All right.
And there was all kinds of royalty there. A lot of really cool people out to see what America had been doing in its free time.
Yeah. Look at this kaleidoscope.
Right. So the first public display of the telephone was done with the Emperor of Brazil, Dom Pedro,
Whoa.
sitting 500 feet away from Alec, who was reciting Shakespeare into the transmitter. It wasn't two-way yet, by the way. So Don Pedro jumped up out of his chair when he heard it, he exclaiming, understandably, "I mel dos, I hear. And the crowd was like, no fucking way. That guy just heard that guy, and he's barely yelling at all.
Cool.
It was a big hit on the international stage. Everyone was like, oh, shit. The gallery was packed with people trying to see someone talk to someone else. This is absurd to us right now. Like, I couldn't, reading this research, I was just like,
I'm getting it.
My
like
grandma
magic
calls
back
me,
then.
and I'm like, I gotta go, Grandma. They were excited about
Yeah,
that.
just to hear someone
You know-
talk Shakespeare. Let loose the
From-
dogs. Wah! Oh my God!
I mean, the place in Philly was so exuberant. They had never seen any technology like this before. In fact, the hall was in such a calamity and commotion that the organizers thought that the place was on fire and called the fire department. They were like, something's going on here. It's just so loud. It
probably
must be
a
a fire.
fire.
That was like at E3
Yeah.
when they announced Halo Infinity.
Was there a fire
Yeah.
there?
No, just really bad graphic.
Oh, really?
Good.
Deep cut.
So after months, the phone was improved drastically.
Mhm.
Bell spent the next few months figuring it out, how to make it two-way, what's going on here. But it wasn't making any money at all. It was a novelty at this point. So the partners agreed to try to sell the patent. To whom, might you ask? Why? Western Union.
Oh, fuck.
Yay.
Now, they already had a cable system running across America, and they're like, feasibly, we can make this happen. This is a great buy for you. And the president of Western Union was like, no, not going to happen. Declined the purchase, that invention, for $100,000, claiming it was nothing but a toy.
Oh.
Now, this is considered to be the worst passing up of business opportunities in American history. Even worse than Blockbuster passing up on Netflix.
Weird.
2 years later, those same patents they tried to sell, they were putting down offers for $25 million.
Wow.
Wow. It's a lot of money.
Yeah. It's
In
a shit ton of
like
money.
1800s time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is 1870s. right now.
Wow. Fuck.
It's a shit ton of money. So, in between those 2 years, Alex
Dude.
did have to hustle this invention like he did with his father's visible speech.
I
thing.
mean, I think we've lived through one of those moments, and that was obviously with the Furby. Everyone was like, that's a toy. But now, the Furby is
It's a sex
Everyone
toy.
put their money into Beanie Babies, and then where does that get us?
now the Furby you can find at any Goodwill.
Can you imagine a
Right.
fleshlight
So now-
Furby?
Dude, no! Don't talk about that, Cody.
Dude, yes.
No! No!
Give me your money,
Dark
we'll all be
Cody.
billionaires.
Shut up. Oh, you! I love you! I love you long time.
It's a cash cow.
Furby, papa, beep, boop. Love you.
I'll let you guys do this all night. Beeping and booping.
Universal language, baby.
Yeah.
So, like the universal language of visual speech that he and his brother had shown at many universities, he's like, let's take this telephone on the road. So Watson and Alex set these stage shows with comedy and drama using the invisible Thomas Watson, who was calling from a block away.
Ooh.
Whoa.
Oh, wow.
Whole block.
He's a block away. People were astonished, and Hubbard was less than thrilled with the stage show, but recognized the effectiveness. So they were making this whole like stink about, yeah, we will come to your place, bring a phone, and I will call my friends.
Find one of these mythological phones.
Roaring
Yeah, right.
audience.
It's that hotline.
Nope.
Hotline.
I'd be shitting my
bling.
pants. Like, what the fuck?
I mean, it's science, so I guess, I don't know. At the end of the first year, 800 Bell telephones had been installed in the States, proving itself to be very useful to people and not just a novelty. Business folks would use these public Bell telephones.
Oh, quick question.
Yeah.
So did they have telephone lines back then, or no? They use the Morse code lines.
Well, they use the Morse code lines and then they use some of the private ones to make this work, and then they had to run their own lines. For
All right.
Cool.
Can I go on a slight on-topic tangent?
That's not what that
Sure.
word means.
Okay. The thing I hate the most are fucking telephone lines. Telephone lines have
I've heard
existed
this, yeah.
for like 150 years. They're literally the same shit, a piece of wood that we haven't sunk into the ground yet because that technology exists. But we just don't, like, if you think about telephone lines, they're ugly as
A lot of money.
fuck.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
the problem was when you put it in the ground is when you have an issue, you have to rip up a whole
No,
block.
you just
Yeah.
fucking make grates and shit. Like, I don't know, we've had this technology for 150 years. Why
yeah.
is it still an ugly... If you go down your fucking, like, you know, any town you're in and on your main street, like, it's ugly. It's a bunch of fucking wires.
Wild West had telephone wires.
Yeah.
Oh, think how much
Well-
of a process that would be, though. To, like,
Well,
get
we
every
had
telephone
150
wire.
years to do it. It's stupid. We use a technology.
Well, now we're wireless, and
you-
we still just want to keep them up.
You get
Yeah,
pussy
5G
pics
running
through
through
your
me.
phone, like through the middle of like thin air. You know what I mean? Like, why can't we get like
Magic.
talk?
Yeah.
Why can't we get a human talking through the same thin air?
Well, it's like what is our solution? I'm gonna cut down a tree and put wires up on it. Like, that's
Yeah.
stupid.
It still
I
works.
hate it.
It is stupid, but we wouldn't be doing this right now if someone didn't do something.
Yeah, all right.
I agree, though. It could be done
Fair.
better. And also, I'm glad you brought that up because Alexander Graham Bell himself hated the idea of running telephone
Really?
wires everywhere. He was not into
My
that. And I will
dude.
cover that shortly. So, in 1877, they formed the Bell Telephone Company. Alec was making a lot of money and decided it was time to actually get married to Mabel,
Ooh.
who is now legal. So they did the thing, and Alec's wedding gift to his wife was a third of his shares in the company,
How romantic.
making her stupid rich and possibly one of the richest women in America. Alec went international, showing his invention to famous folks like royalty and lizard people like the Queen of England.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
That was Victoria back
Yeah,
then. That was a fucking oldie. Gold oldie. Let me rub one
Yeah,
out to the
it's,
golden oldie. Yeah, fuck
the gold-
you, Sarah J. Queen Vicky.
Shut up.
Stop.
Whatever talk bad about.
Never say anything bad about an onion booty like that again, sir.
Brings a tear to your eyes.
That's a Gentleman and Tom coming out. Anyway, the competition was still on, though. This was not, they weren't without their resistance. Western Union enlisted the help of Elijah Gray and 6-foot-tall shit sandwich Thomas Edison to develop their own telephone service. Now, here comes the lawsuits. Over the next few years, Bell was in and out of court, battling Western Union, contesting Watson, walking through all the processes of invention. Somehow they win the whole thing, even though there is this paper trail of a little bit of, idea theft. Eventually, they settle the multiple suits with Western Union, and then Western Union sells their patents that they had developed to the Bell Company because they're big enough now.
Dude, you know what's...
Then the Bell Company...
Sorry, you know what's crazy is that, like, when we were growing up, like, literally, on Long Island at least, like, literally, I remember, like, our phones being, like, Bell Atlantic. They got rid of it. Yeah. Now it's, like, whatever, Verizon or whatever. But, like, when I grew up and it was Bell Atlantic, and that's fucking Alexander Graham Bell.
Yep, that's that.
Well,
name.
I'm glad you asked, because while Bell was still alive, they need to make an umbrella company. Because the Bell was actually just the telephone. They needed to make a distributor of the cabling system. So Bell Telephones started another company called the American Telephone and Telegraph Company.
Whoa!
Also known as AT&T.
Oh!
Which now will sell all your privacy to the highest bidder.
Okay.
Fuck!
All right, AT&T.
My cell phone service
That's
means
crazy.
telegraph?
Yep. Isn't that weird? Like,
Yeah.
I use AT&T.
Oh, me too.
Am I still telegraphing?
Was
that's
West...
American Telegraph?
Was...
This Pixel 3 XL is vintage.
Wait, was...
Yeah, Cody is legit vintage.
Was Western Union, was their organization called Verizon, and that was because...
No.
Because Western Union's boss had Verizon tattooed on his penis?
Huh.
Yeah,
There's a V.
that's a nice way of naming anything, really.
It's like Horizon with a V.
Penis markings.
Oh.
Anyway, enough phone shit,
Can I get a
because I'm
quick
sure
pee?
we all just had a climax of realizations.
Quick pee.
Alec wanted to prove that he was more than a one-phone pony, if you would. He had some inventing in him. He, along with his new assistant, named Sumner Tainter, went...
Oh, I love it.
Yes. Him and Sumner Tainter went on to invent the photophone, which was a device that allows transmission of speech to be beamed through light.
Dude,
No.
fiber optic?
Yes, fiber optic.
Whoa.
He invented that.
Shit.
Yeah, it's crazy shit. Dude, he legit had transmitters that would receive and send messages from like 100 yards away.
Wow.
With no cables.
Whoa.
This is the 1880s.
That's
man.
sci-fi.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And people really they welcomed the telephone thing, but that was a little too much. That was like voodoo
I have
science.
a quick question. Did he also invent the giant spider in Wild Wild West?
No.
Cody
He absolutely
Cody
did.
answered for me.
Absolutely
I think he might have.
Now, you guys remember when Mike did that excellent research and episode?
Best episode, Roast Mortem.
It's up there. Yeah, for Charles Guiteau.
Wait a minute. Was that the guy
Right?
that jerked off in the bushes and like he was like people were having orgies and then he shot a president? He's no good boy.
Not just the bushes.
Yeah, where else did... Well, Mike, what would you say about him to sum him up for listeners who haven't heard that great episode?
A religious fanatic, nihilist. Not nihilist, maybe. What's another word for like a...
He was like schizophrenic, narcissistic.
Yeah. Narcissist.
Yeah,
that's what
PP
it is.
narcissist.
Yeah.
PP narcissist.
There you go.
You just
Yeah.
listen to
PP
the
narc.
episode, you'll hear about all of Mike's smart
Yeah.
research.
Exactly.
I went full smart on that one.
Right. So he's the guy who's full smart. No breaks, only smart.
Dude, great t-shirt.
Full smart.
Now, he, like Mike saying, crazy guy, he shot Andrew Garfield, one of our presidents that didn't really get to make a lot of moves.
And he hated
movements.
Mondays.
Yeah. So this was another time when Guiteau shot Garfield. This was when Alec was able to shine again. He was like, "Oh shit, I made the phone, but I need more of this. I need people like me still."
More credit.
So this happened in 1881. Guiteau shoots Garfield. The bullet was lodged into the president's body, and nobody can get that damn thing out. So Alec was enlisted to make a device to save the lasagna president's life.
Normal, get out of the room. Go to Abu Dhabi.
Yes. So he brought his new invention, the metal detector, to find his bullet. Now, Mike, you discussed this before, but just quickly, although the trial runs of the device scanning through meat that he had put bullets in, they proved to be very successful. But the president's case, it had proven not to be successful. two reasons. One was because depth was never truly considered, so it was a
Never.
one-dimensional.
Yeah, it's like,
Ladies
yeah,
don't
we
care
know
about
exactly
sex.
where the
Yeah.
bullet is because there's a fucking hole there, you dumb idiot. Oh, look, I think the bullet's here. It's like, oh, well, yeah, fuck me, yeah.
Eureka.
Right. So the device was pretty useless because of the depth thing was never put into perspective, and also the mattress that the orange president lay on was
Whoa.
used mattress bed springs, which wasn't as common
Which
at
are
the time.
metal.
That was metal, so it threw the fucking piece off.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was a shame.
Dumb.
We lost Garfield. We lost
Yeah.
him.
See you later.
Jim Davis brought him back, but we got him.
But who will hate Mondays and love lasagna?
Shortly after Mabel gave birth to their third child, Edward, prematurely, unfortunately, the child died very shortly after being born due to breathing problems, and Bell went to work on his next invention, the respirator. The basis of this was the iron lung.
Really?
This dude was kind of
Wow.
So he's like, I had a squid baby,
was-
and now I need to figure out how people breathe.
That's
Right.
nice of him. Figure that shit out for us.
He's a cool dude. He's inventing all kinds of shit. He then gets into the field of
Yeah.
aeronautics. He's working on airplanes. And then he goes into hydroplanes. He actually invented the first seaplane
Oh, wow.
prototype.
What?
A plane that can
Are you
land.
fucking with me?
No, I'm not fucking with
Wait,
you.
but what about the Wright bros?
Really?
Yeah. Well, they were making the airplane, but they didn't make a seaplane, something that could land on the sea.
Okay.
Like he
all right,
added
all
to
right.
their invention.
Wait, but what year is this? Like, so the Wright bros did their shit, but like, I mean,
I'm sorry, I have my timetable fucked up. He's alive into the
Do it.
1900s. So everything I just said that was very confusing, after the Wright brothers made the plane, he was still alive inventing
okay.
shit.
All right, I see.
Remember, he did the telephone in 1871, 1872-ish, about there, and he was only in his late 20s.
Oh,
Okay.
wow. He's like 40 now.
Yeah, so pardon my confusion. I had
So
written that
was
down a
there?
little
Did
shitty
you
over
see
here.
anything when, like, because he invented this thing, and I'd imagine, like, whenever there's a new technology, only the rich people have it. Like, so only the rich people had telephone. What was he around
Yeah,
for? Like
probably.
the adoption of when it like became the norm? Like,
He saw it grow, but the original idea was he was competing with Western Union, so his idea wasn't to put it into people's houses; it was to make essentially payphones.
oh, okay.
Oh, wow.
So you can make calls from place to place. You would have to be in a certain location.
For those of you that,
And he
for
installed
those
them.
of you that are too young to know, a payphone was a phone that you'd put quarters into, and you'd call someone.
Dude,
Very greasy phone.
Yeah.
so many diseases
Yeah.
from the payphone.
Yeah. So, up until this point, besides a little idea theft, we like him, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes you
Say
gotta.
maybe we like him
I
enough.
like him. Yeah, he's a good guy.
All right, here's where I rip it all.
Oh, yeah.
Do it, fucker.
Yeah.
Come on, Tom.
He still wanted to help the deaf people of the world. So he started another school in Washington, D.C. But any child could enlist. See, the idea was he wanted to assimilate deaf kids into normal society. So deaf kids go there, a lot of deaf kids, but we have teaching for anyone. Not such a bad idea. It was important for Bell to have the normie kids around so the deaf ones could be used to communicating with normies. He didn't like the idea of deaf people having their own culture. He used this school to push his visual speech thing that his father developed. He even taught Helen Keller for a short while, but she didn't exactly have a set of peepers to make the visual speech work out.
Didn't they also just like call those people back then dumb?
Yeah.
Not being like,
Yeah.
It was weird. Like, idiot was a clinical term, and ideologically,
That's right, I've been fucking up words
Yeah.
all night.
ideology.
like, I
Right.
don't know. I just feel like that's so crazy that like dumb just used to be like a medical term. And it's like, what?
Yeah.
Yep. And idiot.
Right.
And also
Yeah.
retard. You know what I mean? Like, when I was growing up, retard literally meant like IQ less than 40. Now it's just something you call other people at the end of your
No,
modern
it's something
warfare.
you say and then get canceled immediately.
Line.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think yeah.
Let's not say that. Did we say
No,
that?
we said it in
Don't
the
say that.
context of conscious people
Mm.
Yeah.
who are trying to be nice.
Oh.
No one can see our faces right now. Anyway, Bell tried to make it a point to have deaf people assimilate into the normal world, which means no sign language.
Huh.
Really?
Yep. He's like, no, stop talking with your hands, you idiots. You're going to speak with your mouth.
Motherfucker.
He considered sign language a foreign language and thought that every single person in America should speak English. So basically, Bell transforms from this fun-loving inventor to try to help out community to the crazy redneck dude saying, speak English or go back to Mexico. Except the Mexicans were deaf people.
No!
Well, also, isn't, I think they've changed it now, but isn't sign language incredibly racist? Like, I know the name for
What do
like,
you mean?
Language
Really?
cannot be racist. It's the intent.
the intent of it is,
Hold on, let's see what he has to say.
racist. Because like they called,
Why?
I think the sign language for Jew is like a big nose or something like that.
That's funny. That's funny.
I don't.
Are you trying to say, are you so woke
Hold
that
on.
you cannot realize that sign language is actually a comedic piece of information that could be used? Not information, a tool.
Maybe not so much comedic as
I
intuitive.
don't know if you're just comparing an attribute to like an entire group of people as opposed to like.
I'm looking this up. Fuck you,
Yeah.
Travis.
Well,
I don't know.
mean,
You're Jewish, Tom. Are you offended by your schnoz?
Gets the point across.
no, I'm not offended by it. And also, like, we're
Tom Schnoz is great.
it's just a fucking tool. Like, whatever it is. Like,
Hey,
I
gets the message across.
I don't care. Like, I just
Bad
don't see
way,
anything
though.
offensive about it. Really, like, this is the shortest way to fucking do this. You have a very limited. There's less things you could do with your hands visually than you can with your mouth.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, this is already a marginalized group of
How do you
Yeah,
say
so they're
wandering
like, why don't we
this?
just get,
I just,
the all other marginalized group?
like, I don't know, whatever the sign
Travis
language is
is
for
right.
black. I'm pretty sure there's never been a black deaf person who was just like, no, it's gonna be African American. Like, it doesn't matter because it's not actually like, I don't know. I'm getting preachy or something.
I'm right,
No.
Cody?
How
It's good. Travis is correct.
I'm wrong. I know
The-
it. I'll shut up. I don't.
The sign language for a Jew is a
A nose.
accentuated motion of the proboscis.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. Well, look. Either way, I
The thing is, the language is designed to be as intuitive as possible. And if that intuition involves slight racism,
I just think they
I guess that's
It's
could have picked
observational.
something
Human?
better, like
Yeah.
to say Jew, you pull
Well,
pull
like
out
this.
your dick and you just like slice.
you can only say Jew
Okay,
once. Then.
I have a sliced
Slice.
wiener, and I'm not Jewish, though.
Yeah, but that comes from the Jewish culture.
Yeah, me too. I got a
or
slice
you just
weenie.
what? You whip out your wallet or something? What are you gonna do?
No, I whip out my wiener.
Your meat wallet.
Do you just say gefilte fish?
Thank you, Mike.
You call them bottom feeders?
No, I pull out my meat wallet, like Mike said.
Right. Okay. So anyway, let's get back to this point. If I sounded pretty insensitive there, it's because those are my feelings. So in 1884, Bell published a paper called "Upon the Formation of a Deaf Variety of the Human Race," in which he
Sure he does.
warned against a great calamity facing the nation. Deaf people were forming clubs, socializing with one another, and consequently marrying other deaf people. The creation of a deaf race yearly would grow larger and more insular. And this is a huge problem. This is a goddamn. I'm paraphrasing there, but anyway. So basically, he was a eugenicist through and
Wait,
through.
so he was
So
he
eugenicizing
didn't-
deaf
Fuck.
people, or was he promoting deaf people to bang each
So-
other?
No, he didn't want deaf
Oh,
people to
okay.
bang each other. The idea of him helping deaf people was to save them from the embarrassment of being deaf. It is the least sensitive
Really?
type of
Right.
helping. It's like, you're wrong. I'm going to show you how to be normal. And it's like, okay, I'm not going to get preachy again. A little fucked
Yeah,
up.
that's pretty fucked
That's
up.
what I mean.
Wait, you're doing it wrong. You can't use
Yeah.
your holes in the side of your head. What are you, fucking dumb?
Right. He just wanted them to be more.
I like the whole.
He wanted them to be more tolerable to normal people. That was the idea.
Get in
Be
line.
normal. So eugenicists called for regulation outlawing intermarriage of deaf people, but Bell didn't see that gaining a lot of traction. So he had his own ideas to solve the Das Deafency issue. So he would find the common bond in deaf culture and crush it. So he tried to make sign language illegal because this is how they were able to talk. Basically, he sought to remove sign language deaf teachers and residential schools where deaf people were able to mingle amongst each other. He thought that this was going to create a larger problem.
Why?
Yeah. So
answer Mike.
That's fucked up.
yeah, he's
hindering them for his own selfish ideas.
He doesn't want deaf culture. He thought that it was just a terrible thing to have deaf people around. And even his wife, the idea, his wife is deaf. He made her so she can read
out loud.
People's lips and that she could talk and that she doesn't.
Do
sound
you
like an
think
idiot
he
to
used
him.
that douchebag move of like, dude, I can't be prejudiced against deaf people because my wife is deaf?
Kind of, yeah. Like,
Oh,
Yeah, right.
interesting, Travis.
yeah,
Dude, I can't tell them that
totally.
they can't bang each other because I'm banging one. Right? Like, that's what he's doing right there.
Yeah,
right?
He's not deaf though.
Yeah, exactly. He's just like, I'm a normie and I'm having sex with a deaf person, not because deaf people are evil, but they should be eradicated in the future. He was a eugenicist light. He didn't want to make laws prohibiting them from having sex. He wanted to sway them from not having
like
sex
this-
with each other.
Yeah,
and
not
feel
like
bad
the state
about
of
themselves.
Israel, which actively euthanized black people.
You can't have a podcast and mention Israel. Who the fuck do you think you are, motherfucker?
Oh my goodness. So fortunately, the American public did not see much value in the great inventor's crusade to whittle away at deaf people. So it didn't really go anywhere. He was very open about this, but it never became an issue. It was more of like, that's a funny idea, Grandpa. Where'd you learn that? Scotland or Canada? Where'd you pick that up? So he became just a couple other things. He became the second president of the National Geographic Society. That was fun. He started a magazine with his father-in-law called
Wait, you
Science.
saying that this dude's taking
title.
pictures of worms and shit?
What?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's going on National Geographic. He's like, this is a worm, dog.
Sure.
I appreciate it.
Maybe it is.
I like looking at
Maybe it is.
worms.
Right. So, in short, I'm wrapping this guy up quickly. Bell was basically a crazy inventor, man, whose later inventions were overshadowed by the telephone. But who needs a fucking spotlight when you're that rich? I mean, he was so loaded after making the telephone. Didn't matter.
Really?
Oh, yeah, man. It was the goddamn telephone.
Yeah, it's a
He
pretty
owned
big one.
AT&T.
Wait, did he also own
a lot.
Bell?
Yeah,
And
he owned
AT&T.
Bell. He owned like a third. He owned a quarter of Bell, and he owned a quarter of
Damn.
AT&T.
Wow.
So it would be unfair to say this man didn't do the cool shit that we discussed, but it would also be inappropriate to get into his later years because they are pretty uneventful, especially for a podcast.
Yeah.
With that, someone asked me how he did it.
How did this baby Bell touch a tip hole?
All right. Alexander Graham Bell had a nasty case of the diabetes.
Really?
Far too many Entenmann's in the lab.
Oh, I'll do it.
August 2nd, 1922, at 2 a.m., his wife, Mabel, whispered into her, with her deaf accent. She's like, don't leave me. And Alec replied, no. And then
Oh,
he
so
passed away.
so he died of ASMR. She was like,
No one dies of that.
don't
That's-
leave me. Don't leave me. And she like, that's something. She's like,
You really said no?
He said no. I think he was trying to be sweet and be like, I won't leave you.
Oh,
But he's just a liar. So whatever. I'm pretty sure I'm going to lie on my deathbed
Probably.
too. So I can't hold that against him.
Me too.
yeah, me too. Hopefully.
Yeah. Hopefully I get there.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's Alexander Graham Bell. Thank you very much for tuning in, everybody.
oh yeah, I would probably die in the gutter like a real man. I'm Travis.
Yes. Cody, can you take us out?
Surely. This has been a sexual, throbbing episode of Roast Mortem Cast.
Hot.
Yeah.
Steamy.
Give me another adjective, Mike. What you got?
Delightful.
Delightful, after hot and steamy. Yes, very good, Michael.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's good.
Show us your legs. I wasn't being.
Dude, those are some good legs. You got some good stock right there, man.
They're
Thanks.
50 years
We
old
did
at
it.
least. But
Yeah.
thank you for listening to this episode of Roast Morning
Tender.
Cast on the inventor, nay, the muse of the far sound, aka the telephone.
AKA the dick pic.
Well, the thing is, I attribute dick pickage to more of the far computer more than the far sound, because
Cody, I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but I'm going to do it.
Do whatever the fuck you want, man.
Big shout out to Sean.
Oh yeah,
make
how
it
could I
rain.
possibly forget the biggest
Who's that?
laughing gentleman of our podcast, Sean Borain. He's a good
Oh,
guy.
shit.
Go listen to him.
Well,
He
that
laughs
was
harder
awesome.
than the rest of you. It's
Yeah,
weird.
Yep.
Check out patreon.com/roastmortemcast.
Do what Tom said
We do shit.
and be like Sean. But that is
Please.
our episode of Alexander Graham Bell.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna eat some really hot peanuts. That's my new thing that I'm gonna do.
Really? You wanna
Yeah,
talk
I
about
got some
that?
really hot peanuts, and I'm gonna eat them on Patreon. I'm gonna
Ooh, what kind? Roasted?
I can't wait to see it.
There's been a lot going on. I've been moving, but I'm ready to for all you guys.
Mm-hmm.
All right. We're leaving. Goodbye.
Oh my God! Thank you for sitting here.
I'm gonna
We
end
love
this
you.
show with a
Big
song. Alexander Graham Bell told us how to take pictures of a dick. You gotta get it a low angle so that shit looks bigger than it really is.
I mean, yeah.
Alexander Graham Bell.
It's true. You made me look good.
Yeah. You gotta buy one of those Coronitos. You know, the little bottles of Corona? Hold it next to it. Wow, look how big it
Life
is.
size. Yeah, you don't want no shrimp.
Dude, you want a shrimp. You want a jumbo shrimp.
You want to eat the shrimp. You don't want to take a picture of a shrimp.
All right,
Bye.
Jumbo, bye.
Hi.